Every now and then I hear you, then it goes like the wind, never knowing where it ends or where it begins. Underwater I can hear you, talking like a ghost again. Every now and then I hear you say, hey son, hold my hand, let me follow to the end. Hey son, go dreaming on a long street, smoke dragging in front of me, never quick enough to be free. I lie awake all night, ticking back through time to find, swimming in dark tides, through a sea of need. Hey son, hold my hand, let me follow to the end. Through fire, through this pain, flowers grow after the rain. Hey son, I lie awake all night, ticking back through time to find, swimming in dark tides, through a sea of need to find this sometime. Oh, the whole time, scars stay. If I should wake, stand by, no, there is nothing left to hold. Lying here beneath this dark, there is nothing left to love, and it takes its toll. And it takes its toll.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. Today is the 2-year mark for missing Michael Joseph Vaughan. He went missing on July 27th, 2021, near or around his home between 6:40 and 7 p.m. per law enforcement. Today is, again, the 2-year mark for his disappearance. And there's been a lot of speculation going around as to what is next in his case. There's been little updates throughout this entire case. And I do believe that Michael did not get the coverage or the notoriety he deserved and still deserves. And so that's what we're going to continue to do on this channel. So I wanted to give you the updates of what we know so far, what recent things have been said from Fruitland PD per the Facebook page, and some other things that are in the works. I want to say hi to everybody. Today is a rough day, I'm sure, for many, but in particular for me and many others who have worked to try to see what we can do to help bring in some tips or some leads or something for law enforcement to work with. As they always say, if there's anything nor big or small, send it in, right? So, hi, One Life to Live. See if my chat's going to work. Yep, awesome. My shed line says, welcome in, everyone. Please like and subscribe. No disrespectful comments will be allowed in the chat. Let's all remember Michael today and put blue hearts in chat for him. And I see so many. Hi, Jesse, Brooke. Hey, Julia T. Justice for Michael. Absolutely. Jen Hannah, I'm not green anymore. Oh, no. We'll fix that. We'll figure it out. Precious Things. Hello, Eve and everyone. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Now, I know. Oh, hi, True Crime Chucky. Magically Mystic. There's a lot of people in here that I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Winnie. Good to see you, hun. One Life to Live. If I have guidance, it's been a while. So glad you're here. Little Wing. Dope. My girl, Shani. Good to see you guys. Blue hearts for Monkey, please. Yes, thank you. So let's get to the nitty gritty of what happened today, what little happened today and yesterday. First and foremost, as law enforcement always states, as JD Huff states, all credible information comes straight from the Fruitland Police Department's Facebook page. And this is where we get the most reliable and latest information. Now, does that always mean that we get those timely? No. Is that normal in cases? Yeah. Especially in missing children's cases where they disappear under mysterious circumstances and not a lot to go off of, right? And in this case in particular, it's been extremely difficult, just like with the Summer Wells case and Lena Keel. But for some reason, Michael's case kind of got stifled, I believe, due to not only the Summer Wells case, but YouTubers covering anything about missing children have been stifled. Michael went missing after Summer Wells, so his coverage definitely got squashed. And as much as I have tried to advocate for justice for Michael and for him to be found and whoever took him away from his life needs to be, held accountable or multiple people if that's the case. I feel like that might have had something to do, the stifling of his coverage had something to do with it. And that's just my opinion. JLR made a recent video. I'm not here to speculate on how you feel about him or how I feel about him, but he did do an update recently that's pretty straightforward and stuff that he's covered. He went to Fruitland and got some drive time videos and things like that. So if you want to go check his channel out, please do. And he's got a playlist on Michael so that you can kind of see the area for what it is better than a lot of other creators out there. So let's get into it, all right? I have a lot to talk about and a lot to say. No matter what you hear from whoever it may be, another channel who, maybe advocate for specifically the mother of Michael Vaughan more so than I feel Michael's advocacy. At the end of the day, I'm just here to bring him home one way or the other, and that the people that are persons or people that are complicit in his disappearance need to be brought to justice. That's at the end of the day, that's all I care about. And I do try to follow the facts as much as I can and try to explain the speculation as such. And I feel like I do a pretty good job. But to some, that means bashing. So just open up your mind, open up your ears. Know that if I say something or I'm talking about something and it feels like it's a slight against maybe a family member, that's not my intention. I'm just kind of brutally honest sometimes when it comes to misinformation or lies or changes in stories and things like that if you're new here. So I have been covering this case for quite some time. I've gone through personally a lot of drama with people around the family who feel a certain way about me, and that's okay. I can take it. It's fine. There have been threats and things like that, but we're not going to focus on those things. Just know that if you're new here and you don't know those things and you find out later that that's the case, that is not what I want you to focus on. It's about Michael and people who have been named suspects before this update. So, hey, Lulu, so glad to see you, my sister, my soul sister, twin sister, birthday sister. Oh, you're on break with family. I want to say hi. Well, I hope you enjoy that. Enjoy your family. Hi, Colin. Dakota Ray. It's been a while. CP cosplay. What is going on? It was really sad because there was a lot of people in JLR's chat when I was watching the live that didn't know anything about Michael. They're like, oh, I remember this case. Was it the little boy who drowned? I mean, there were so many people that just did not know and only thought that JLR, even though he's done great, with Michael's case specifically, getting the Brandon Shirtliff interview, one of the named suspects in the presser in December of 2022. That's not true. You know, a lot of people just don't know because they are wrapped up in other cases, and I get it. But it really, really hurt my feelings for Michael and his justice. So please, share this, the lives. And if you go and check out the playlist that I have, please share so that people know, because I do have specific information that over time that might kind of help you if you're invested in this like I am. Hey, Sarah. Lenny says, Michael matters. He is my focus. All other missing children are my focus. Likewise, accusing others I do not do, nor do I think Eve does. And I thank you for that, because that's how I feel. It might feel that way to others, but that doesn't mean it's true. All right, jumping into this. Update. City of Fruitland Police has just happened at about 11, almost noon their time in Fruitland, Idaho. Update the search for Michael Joseph Vaughan. The search continues for Michael, now age 7. On the second anniversary of Michael's abduction, the case remains very active, so it is not final. There are no charges as of today, all right? Our work has not stopped. Our ground searches have continued as recent as this month, and we continue the arduous task of filtering through new tips and leads. New tips and leads. This investigation is moving into a new phase, as investigators have submitted this case along with a probable cause affidavit to the Payette County prosecutor. As a result, any inquiries regarding this case will be referred to the Payette County prosecutor's office. And there's the number listed. Now, I'll finish this so I don't rant on, but I want to really hone in on that. Going to the prosecutor's office, which is not unheard of. It's already done that once, specifically with Sarah's drop charge of failing to report Michael's death. And we'll get into that. But there's something interesting that I think I should share with you on that. The community support has been remarkable, along with the unwavering patience with our team. We are committed and our tenacity steadfast. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 2,000 tips and leads. Now, to compare this, in 2 years, it's been 1,000 tips a year. In the Brian Koberger case, which happened in November of 2022, there have been over 10,000. So do you see where social media plays a crucial part in getting information out there as quick as possible and not waiting 133 days, for instance? It's very important to get it out immediately to grab the attention of people who may have a tip. So we continue to ask that you remain vigilant, and please share the poster linked below, which is the same poster that they've always had for Idaho Missing Persons Clearinghouse. Tips can also be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org or to Crime Stoppers, 343cops.com. Tips may remain anonymous. Please keep Michael in your prayers. Please keep Michael in your prayers. Everybody. This Facebook page is the only source for credible firsthand information in this case. Please continue to follow this page for more updates as they're available. So what that means is, as you know, you can listen to Eve all day long. You could listen to LaWanda Westbrook all day long, the PR rep for Michael. You could even listen to the mother all day long. You could listen to Purple Phoenix, the one that gives the mother the platform. At the end of the day, you get your information from them only as the credible source and the finality. I am no exception to that. However, I do provide receipts, so that's a good thing, right? Let me check in with chat. Yes, Jeep Girl, thank you. Miss Rubeg, glad you're here. Been a minute. Yes, they do, Lulu. All right. So now that we established that that is the latest and greatest as of today, I want to talk about the ground searches, first of all. Our ground searches have continued as recent as this month, and we continue the arduous task of filtering through new tips and leads. This is my opinion only. I feel like new searches are amazing. That's all I've ever wanted was habitual searches for this boy. As a person who trained and used to do more than now, but I'm pregnant now. So if nobody knows that, then you do now. Hi, Mr. Eve. I would search for missing persons through EquiSearch and other private organizations. And the one thing that I do know is that typically within the first 48 hours, when it comes to children, they're found most of the time. It's very rare that you don't find them or police will eventually find them. There'll be something. In this case, it doesn't feel like there was much of anything at all. And that's why JD have said at the beginning, it could be more likely that he was abducted, Michael, because they just did so many searches. And it's so unlikely to not find him that it increases the possibility. So it wasn't like they had any proof that he was abducted at the time at all. Matter of fact, that didn't even start coming out until the excavation in November of 2022, a year and almost 4 months later. So know that to be fact. Know that to be what Fruitland has said in these updates. It was never a confirmation of abduction, just more likely. All right. And that is important to know because it tells you not a slight against anybody on the other side here. It just tells you where they were at in their investigation, right? They didn't have much. They just didn't. So what does that mean? Where are we now? Well, it's very interesting to me, more than anything, that the prosecutor now has the case. Fayette County. They have not spoken on this matter since April to news journalists. And we'll get into that here in a second. So I wonder why, after the drop charge of the failure to report a death in March of 2023 against Sarah Wandra, they placed 3 other old charges unrelated to Michael's disappearance on her to, I guess, keep her there. That's just my opinion or speculation that they just wanted to keep her in jail. The latest and greatest, when she was in court, was to negotiate plea deals with the prosecutor. Now you're thinking, okay, well, if they're unrelated to Michael, what does this have to do with Michael's case? Well, I don't know about you, but if I see somebody like Sarah who says not guilty to 3 charges that they placed back on her because they dropped them the year before, it tells me that it could still very well have something to do with things that are going behind the scenes, even if there's no charges being pressed. It could be about someone else. Now, I want to go look at us together, rather. Why I say that. Let's go to City of Fruitland. They have all of the, updates on their Facebook, right? Which, by the way, they limit everything because I think that they get a lot of grief on this case. I've seen it myself. There's been some other endangered missing persons throughout time. Let me just search. But there was one press release in January that named the 4 suspects and all that stuff. We all know who they are. The Wandras, who are married, that live at 1102 Red Wing in the Hidden Meadow subdivision across from where Michael's house was. And them and 2 people that were staying there the day he vanished were named persons of interest. And then it became suspects. And then it became all these things. And now we don't really know anything because they haven't said anything about them. And no charges, right? That to me is very interesting that they are not on this right here. It doesn't mean that they're not still suspects. It doesn't mean much of anything, honestly, other than the prosecutor's the only one that knows, and they're not speaking and haven't spoken since April. So what does that tell you? Maybe they just don't have enough yet. So they had to see what was going on with the smaller fish, as I call them, the 4, to get to the big fish, or big fish. Fishes, the fishies. The kingpin fishies, if you will. Maybe there's more to this than we ever could have thought in our wildest dreams. You have to understand that the gang unit came down. A gang unit FBI agent took over the case. FBI-wise, in January or February, they replaced one because there was some issues, some conflicts with maybe a family member or 2. You can go ask them about that, but it's actually somebody you might know very well in other cases. The Lori Daybell case. Yeah. So maybe there were just too many resources that needed to be pulled from them and not enough people. Because that was a big case. Tylee and JJ Vallow, right? So it kind of makes you wonder, wow, why would they come down to help? Maybe they just had some expertise and they just so happen to be gang and trafficking experts, right? And missing children experts, one of them. And I'm talking about Nemo and Doug Hart, who both worked on Michael's case. So it kind of would make sense. Like, okay, they were looking for someone that maybe took Michael potentially, or they were just trying to eliminate it. Who knows? But what I really want you to think about is why the prosecution solely is getting tips in and is handling potential charges to come. They're not saying that they have charges for anybody or a group of people. They're just saying it's moved into a new phase, and they submitted a new probable cause affidavit a probable cause affidavit to the Payette County prosecutor. I highly doubt it's the one that Sarah Wandras charge for failure to report a death was about. Because it didn't work. They dropped the charge. You don't need to rescind a probable cause. You just have it. And then if you think that you have more evidence, then you recharge them. Right? So what's going on here? And why wasn't there a face-to-face press release like they used to do where people could ask the police questions? Well, that's because the prosecutor has it and they are not talking. It even said in the Argus Observer, which I'll read here in a minute, that they're not going to speak on it. To the advice, Fruitland PD, from the advice of the prosecutor, to not speak on this. Well, okay, no charges today. You know, sometimes you get these arrests, right? When some update comes and you're like, oh, wow, it's all happening. And that didn't happen today. They're still reviewing the probable cause, just sent the entire caseload to the prosecutor, right? Fruitland PD. So what does that mean? Well, let's go to Payette County and see what's going on right now. This is just speculation. This is no confirmation at all. But we did notice that there were grand jury jurors, right, to be on their toes for a potential grand jury meeting. Jurors 270 to 399. Unless previously excused, please be at the Payette County Courthouse at 8:30 a.m. Friday, which is tomorrow, July 28th, and check in with the bailiff. Interesting. There are no trials of the week for that time, I think, for regular jurors, but this is grand jury. They took it off, but it's grand jury. It was there. I can promise you that. So maybe they're trying to figure out what they do have. Could it be enough? Do we know who? No. We have no earthly idea yet. But I have a feeling that if this is related to Michael Vaughan, it makes a lot of sense to me that this could be potentially what they're doing, because now the prosecutor has the case. It's all on them. And this is what prosecutors do when they don't have enough evidence that they feel would make a charge stick or charges. Does that make sense? So it's just something to think about in this case. And grand jury indictments are secret, so we're not going to know anything about it until a charge has been placed, if there is one. Just know that. So what happened to the Unfab 4? Well, let's see. Let's see if they still have it on here, because I don't think they do. The Unfab 4, meaning Adrian Lucene, Brandon Shirtliff, and the Wandras, the ones that they, Fruitland police said were persons of interest that may have knowledge, and then they were suspects, etc. I swore that there was a picture here, but I don't see them. So here's the December 1st. So they still have that information here about Brandon and Adrian being, but they want to just question. They just want them to question. Anything else? Let's see. 1208. 126, 2023. Says this investigation is multifaceted. Waiting for results for the DNA lab for further analysis. We have no idea what that is, or you're going to hear it potentially on Crime Lines and Lies from people around the family. And I would be very, very shocked that police would ever give evidentiary information out to random people, including family members, because that would be very reckless. So I take it with a grain of salt. It didn't come from the Facebook page. Know that. So, I mean, really, there's nothing else besides, here's where we're at. They talked to Adrian Lucene and Brandon Shirtliff, right? That's what they said. They haven't said they needed to speak with him again. Yet they're still being asked to come forward from others, not Fruitland PD. So, something to think about while we're going through all of this stuff, this other stuff. I'm going to check chat real quick. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Federal could be likely. Consider the Oregon border is right there. Yeah. Yes, Michael Vaughan. He just needs justice. Hey, Carla. Hope all is well. James says they dismiss without prejudice, can file again or seek a grand jury indictment when they unearth something new. Right. Or it could be a completely new everything, because that's what prosecutions sometimes do, is they'll put out these small fish to get to the big fish, the kingpin, if you will. That's what I'm going to refer to, because JD Huff said there were other persons that they believe have knowledge, and that those who got in the way of the investigation or tried to withhold information will be prosecuted. So that's also a potential. Maybe these 4 fell through. Maybe they didn't. We don't know. Witnesses can testify. Maybe these all 4 of them were witnesses of something that they either didn't come forward with like they should have, or maybe they had no idea. And I'm wondering if the gang unit handles the MC groups as well, right? Mm-hmm. Me too. That'd be something to look into. So, do we know if the grand jury meeting tomorrow is about Michael? No. Could it? Maybe. Yeah. Could we see something going on in the next few weeks? Maybe. We don't know. All we can do is wait. And all we can do is still share his information. Now, getting to the Argus Observer, I have a bone to pick, because there was a little bit of misinformation, in my opinion, that I cleared up with Miss Leslie, the writer of said article. And I would like to let you know about it, because I think that's only fair, right? So this is the most recent one. But the one from yesterday is the one I'm going to talk about. So basically going over the same thing that I just said. The investigation is moving into a new phase. New probable cause. And that, please keep Michael in your prayers. I want you to think about that. I feel like there's something missing in that sentence. Don't you? Oh, please do not tell me that they took down the one from yesterday. That would suck. Why is it not showing up in Google searches? No way. Man, I'm glad I got screenshots, but here it is. I think. Wow, is it gone? Sorry, guys, hold on. No way. I'm going to have to get the screenshots. Thank God for screenshots. Wow. Maybe it's just Google being weird, right? Let's just say that. Right? Maybe. I wasn't expecting to have to search for this. Sorry, hold on. It's important. Don't leave. It's very important. So crazy. It won't work for me. The link is broken. No way. Let's try this one. I'm getting there, guys. Here we go. It worked. Okay, sorry. Why is it behind a paywall? Do you see this? God. Sorry, I'm so frustrated. Like, that's ridiculous. It should not be behind a paywall. It's about Michael. It's about a little missing boy. Why is that? So anyway, I'm just going to tell you what it said. That the parents were cleared from the very jump due to the family being cooperative. Now, I could give two flying figs about that right now, but I feel that it is very unethical, in my opinion, to say that when that was not the case. When he stated multiple times throughout at least the first year, all the way up until before the excavation, that no stone left unturned. We wish we could. No can do. They never cleared them, and I wish that they would. Honestly, it would make my freaking life so much easier, and everybody's life, so that they can really, really focus on other potentials. But they have not done that, and it's very unethical to me. So I did email her and call her myself and say, "Hey, what do you mean by that? Is that official?" And she said, "No, that is where she stands." I got the email here. If I have to put it out there, I guess I will. I said, "Hi. Much appreciation for the recent article. Could you clarify about early on in the case, his parents were cleared as suspects with Fruitland, JD Huff saying they've always fully cooperated." He never said they always fully cooperated. They have been fully cooperative. That is such a miscommunication of word or mishmash of words to me. I hate when that happens. Don't make it seem like one thing to make it easier. Just be real, right? So that is not the truth. She confirmed with me that JD Huff has not said anything of that, the confirmation straight from their mouths. That's just where she stands. And if she has to retract it, she will. So that means that she even knows it's a little wrong. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, good. What, big eyes? I didn't know that. Sorry. I'll go to yours. Thank you. My Discord where I house everything, it does not work when I'm streaming. It just bounces around. So that's why I can't get to it quickly. I am sorry, guys. I didn't think I would need it because I have links. But lesson learned. What big eyes to save the day. Oh, Lord. Is he back already? It's been a minute. He wasn't too far from me in the slammer. That was today. Oh, you were talking about the one. Okay, never mind. It's okay. Thank you, though. We're going to move on to something else. So, talked about the grand jury and the Argus Observer. I just wanted to clear that up, that you're going to hear, because the Argus Observer said they're cleared. They are, and they always have been. That's cockamamie. That's not true. I wish that was the case. I really do. Yes, blue hearts for monkey. That is the most important topic of today. I just have to try to avoid people or let people know about that stuff. It just, oof. So I want to correct some one or two more things about some misinformation that was put on True Crimes and Crime Lines and Lies. Rick's channel. The shed at the Wanderers was bought before Michael went missing. You're going to hear a lot about that it was after, and it's not true. Got the receipts. So make sure that you know who you are getting your information from out there. I promise you. You can go into my stuff from the past. I have proof and receipts all day. It just feels like they want, people around the family want answers, and I get it. And they just want to push it, but don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. This is about Monkey, not about what we're trying to fake prove to get everybody on board. It's very desperate and very sad. And it doesn't work. Right? I share a lot. You have to scroll down far. That's okay. I also wanted to say this. I don't know Tony very well from the Purple Phoenix. I don't know Tony at all, really. But she also lost a child. And I believe it was this, I think her and Brandy shared the same day of, Michael disappearing and her losing a child. I think I could be wrong. I just wanted to say to Tony out there that I'm sorry you were treated the way that you were, from both Brandy and and Purple's group. I'm really sorry to hear that. My heart goes out to you. Let's put some dark blue or green even hearts for Tony, please. And I hope that somebody reaches out to her, because I don't think she even watches me. But if somebody could just let her know that we care about her and her pain too. And no, we don't have beef and we don't have drama, so I don't really care about what she's done or not done. But my heart is with her. My heart is with her, because I could not imagine feeling that pain, right? And I want her to know that we support her here always. I'm sure there's no other pain, and I never want to experience that. So I want her to feel the love here, no matter what. Thank you guys. So I wanted to go over, well, should I? Yeah, let's do it. I want everybody to see the JLR interview with Brandon Shirtliff on his version of events for that day. This is JLR's video, so please go give him a like on at least this video. I want everybody to really listen to what he says, and I'm going to pause it and talk about it, because he's the only one that has spoken out about what happened that day. There is some information that I feel he may have been lying about or missing. I don't know what he was thinking.
I think he's from California somewhere.
So I want to go over specifically Brandon stating where they were and what was going on that day. And then I'm going to say things like, I'm going to stop and say, do you think that could be caught on CCTV? If so, okay, here's where. I want people to know that if they are in fact complicit in any of this, there's ways to prove or disprove what this man is saying. And the only two people rather, that are harder to pinpoint down is the Adrian guy and Stacy, because Stacy was at home a lot that day, per his knowledge. So let's listen into it. Very important.
Vaughan Case. Check it out.
Okay, now thank you for talking to me. Thank you. I respect that, considering that I put a video out on you sharing what's going on. But as you know, I never said you were a suspect. I just said that you were there in the mix. So this is very important because a lot of people are following the Michael Vaughan case, and people just want answers. People want Michael found. They want insight on the Wanderers. They want to know everything. So, like, can you just explain what's going on here?
What's that?
Can you explain what's going on? Like, what happened? What went down? What's up?
Yeah, the people that I used to stay with sometimes on the weekend and drive taxi for or whatever, they're involved in some big shit about. They're saying they know more about the Michael Vaughan case and everything like that. And I heard that they're saying that they actually killed him themselves.
Now, who said that?
I think the detectives told me that that's what Stacy and Sarah said themselves, is that they did it or they were involved in it or they know who did.
Interesting. Do you know any names or these people? Who are they?
One of the people that went to their house before was Tanner Butler. I just looked at my Facebook page now, and his name's Tanner Butler. He was staying there with me and Stacy and Sarah at the time. Like, all four of us were roommates.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
And then I guess the whole thing on how this started was the fact that Sarah, like, kind of threatened him or, like, told him, get out of my house and don't come here no more because you were drinking. And I don't want you to be a bad influence on my poor little husband, Stacy, blah, blah, blah.
So yeah, and that was the incident earlier this year, April, around the beginning of April, right? They got arrested.
Correct.
Who got arrested?
Sarah did. Sarah Wandra. And then Stacy. Okay, so Stacy got arrested first.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Sarah got arrested not long after.
Interesting.
And that was all over guns. It was all over a .17 caliber, some kind of a little gun they had.
All right. So Stacy did get arrested prior to Sarah, but that's not entirely accurate in a sense of around the time with the dog bone incident with Tanner Butler. And I have videos on him, and I can link it later. Go watch the first series that I have on Sarah Wandra with Tanner Butler being involved, which he was subpoenaed in the 3 charges that you're hearing about. Because he was the witness, he was the one that called 911, screaming some crazy stuff. So that's the charges that Sarah is being held on right now. The interesting thing that I want to point out here is that Tanner was talked about when detectives went to speak with him. I don't know if this was Chris Pendena from the Cold Case Foundation. I don't know if it's Fruitland PD. I don't know who talked to Brandon. But he is stating that they talked about this guy. So to clear it up, before this incident, there was an arrest from Stacy from something else, completely, like, way before. I think it was even the year before. It was something, nothing like this, not related. In 2022, it was Sarah that got arrested on April 13th. And then in May, Stacy got arrested for felony gun charge. All right, something separate. And that was started because this Tanner guy who stayed with them told the police this about having guns, and they weren't supposed to because they're felons. So just know that. But I want to jump ahead It's something very specific. Let me see if I can find it.
Or if that was true or if it was just hearsay.
So he's accusing her of hitting her with a dog bone. Where were you all
Kapow, a
at
dog
on
bone.
July 27th, 2021? You're saying that they couldn't have done it. Now, let's go back to that day Michael went missing, right? So
Yeah.
that morning, where were you all at on
So
July
this is what I want you to
27th,
hear.
2020?
This is what I want you guys to hear. This is his version of events of where everybody was. All right. So that if there's charges that come up again or whatever the case may be, you know the truth. Or at least Brandon's version of the truth, right?
21, the day Michael was reported missing. Where were you guys at in the morning?
Okay, so earlier that day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house. And we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughan, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup, and then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, you know, that's what hit my mind first.
Okay, so he's saying that not only did him and Sarah go out and search for Michael when they realized he was being searched for, but there's CCTV footage at the splash pad that a lot of people thought Michael was trying to get to. We don't know if he's on any CCTV footage. It's flip-flopped back and forth from the parent, but wouldn't you think that if they caught Tyler and Brandy on CCTV footage when they were searching, that they would catch him and Sarah doing all of these things? You would think so. So it would be very stupid and idiotic to me, right, to lie about this if it's not true. That's just how I feel. You'd be a real big idiot.
And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back, Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, we need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out, you know? So that's what was on my mind right when it happened. But earlier, before that day, before we towed the car, we went to Applebee's. And
what time was that?
That was earlier in the day after we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee. And then we went, me and Sarah and one of her other friends that was there visiting for like
Adrian.
a week or so because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere by the Karcher Mall.
Who was that?
So that's Adrian.
Is that the Adrian Hernandez?
No, that's a different guy. Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind of a quarrel or marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her, but he said, my family's here. I want to see him.
Okay, so he goes on and on about going to Nampa, which is about, I want to say, 20 minutes away, 25, 30, something like that. Maybe a little more or less, but goes to all these places. So he's constantly saying, we were here, we were there, we were whatever. And a lot of people are like, well, that can't be. Applebee's is closed. It was COVID times and blah, 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 blah. And I don't really care about that because that's the police's job to vet that information. But if they were in the area that they're saying that they're at, they could prove or disprove that. You know, so you would be an idiot to come on and say that you were here and there and it not be true if they could prove it. Because there's cameras all over, especially at a mall. especially at the traffic lights, you would be able to vet this, period. And so wasting time trying to figure out why they lied about this if Applebee's was closed or whatever. I mean, it could have been a Chili's. Who the hell knows? I just feel like it's very idiotic to hone in on these little bitty things that other people are doing right now. Because that's the police's job, that's the investigator's job to vet. And if he's going to be an idiot and hang himself for lying, if that's what he's doing, then let him do that. But there are people out there who are insane that are trying to speak with these 4 people, or at least the 2 people, Brandon right here and Adrian. And as much as they scream, leave the family alone, let law enforcement do their job, they are literally trying to hinder the investigation by speaking to these people, harassing their families. And this is by the direct order of Michael's parents. And it's just very alarming. And I feel like that is the wrong way to go about it. I always have. I always will. I understand, justice for your son is of the utmost importance, but there are limitations to that in a sense of an active investigation. Me speaking on these people and what we know is not hindering an investigation. The information that I'm providing to try to help get justice for Michael is strictly for people to get caught up and understand who they are. And if there's a potential thought or tip or something that could come of it, it would be great. But there is nothing here that is going to hinder anything that is out here that anybody could get. So I just want everybody to know that this interview is, if you want to know, his side of events, go listen. It's
You guys go out. What was Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son, and then after that we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit, and we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there we go back, and then that's how it goes.
Well, what about the
So another thing that I didn't get to, and that I wanted to mention is that he talks about, he comes back after the lunch and all that stuff, and then goes in to get his Mercedes from his mother's because it wasn't working and he wanted to bring it back to the house and work on it. And he rolls up with Sarah. Sarah is driving the truck that's towing his Mercedes. And a neighbor stops on the way out of the neighborhood as they're coming in to talk to them. I would assume that CCTV footage would have also caught this. And again, what an idiot to lie about it. So you have him saying he's searching. He's, they're trying to help search in the fields, all this stuff, right? And I'm sure there's witnesses, I would hope, unless they're lying, that could vouch for this stuff. So I want people to know that it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that these 4 are the ones. In my opinion, I feel like there's more to this. I think the prosecutor knew that. I think Chris McDonough from the Cold Case Foundation, who I've been watching for years, and as much respect as I have lost for what's going on in Michael's case, I do know that he's aware with his experience exactly how law enforcement works with baiting big fish with little fish. And I feel like these people are little fish, potentially. And I wonder if the other people that are involved are the ones that they're going after. And I'm going to go ahead and say, in my opinion only, that we might just see that. We might just see who they are when charges come, potentially. And that is anybody's on the table. Anybody's on the table. No one has been officially cleared. No one has been charged after Sarah's failure to report a death charge dropped, which I believe was just her ramblings, but that's just my opinion only. You know, I'm going to wrap it up here because I don't want to get too far in the sauce because I have videos to put out now. I was going to put out the second series of Stacy Wandra and his background and what you need to know. But I got so much hate for no reason about covering what we know to be true from the family and people around them that I still don't understand. I still don't know. Maybe they're scared about something. I don't know. But I think that everybody needs to know this. And I think it could be damn well anybody getting a charge at this point. It is all on the table. It's an active investigation. Tips are going straight to the prosecutor's office. There's a grand jury tomorrow. Not sure again if it's related or not, but you guys need to keep your eyes and ears perked. Do not confirm your feelings to what's going on because it might not be the case. There is such little information when it comes to evidence. There's such little information when it comes to why we didn't get a presser with the actual face of the police, like we usually do. There is a new phase, as he said, into this investigation, and I want you guys to have an open mind. Don't share any hate with anybody and don't blame anybody. Have your opinions, but do not become closed-minded because this is, I think, just the beginning of Michael's justice. I think it's starting today, and I think it's going to take us by the proverbial balls and twist them, and we're never going to see it coming. As long as he gets the justice that is accurate and right, and it's not against people who were falsely accused, right? It does happen. If there's no corruption, if this is an actual legitimate good case that they are trying to brew, keep your eyes and your ears open, especially with the series that I'm about to put out, because I feel like that might just be the damn answer, and we never knew it. Right? Blue hearts for Monkey. I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a little bit over an hour. Thank you so much for being here. I feel very confident that the second series is coming out tonight, if not tomorrow morning, because it's still about Michael and not about these people today, even though they have become part of it. I just want everybody to share his face and his information today. Michael matters. Summerwells matters. All of these missing kids matter, but Michael matters today more than any other day because it's 2 years too long. And there's a reason why it's been 2 years too long. No more stifling his name. No more threats. No more bashing. No more corruption. No more tiptoeing around anything anymore. He deserves justice. And we're going to get it for him one way or the other, whether that be waiting for law enforcement and or the prosecutor to do their job. You know, as I say, guys, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. All of these missing persons and children need to be found. Everyone matters, especially today, Michael Vaughan. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Much love.
Every now and then I hear you, then it goes like the wind, never knowing where it ends or where it begins. Underwater I can hear you, talking like a ghost again. Every now and then I hear